guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katrie and today I'm here with another specialized book review slash discussion. Today we are going to be talking about The Cursed Princess Club. This is volume 1. This is actually a graphic novel that was like a webtoon before it was turned into a graphic novel, so pretty interesting. I've never read something quite like this before. I'm excited to talk about it though. So I'm going to start out with my 3 pros and then I will do my 3 cons of this book. So my first pro of this book is that it is really easy to read. This is a graphic novel, so it's pretty simple, pretty easy. It's kind of seems like it would be like manga style, but it is not backwards like manga is, so it's not confusing at all. It's just an easy read through graphic novel format, and it was really quick. I read this in maybe an hour and a half, so really easy to read. The writing, the language, everything is like pretty simple while still being well written, and I really enjoyed that aspect. And my second pro for this book is how funny and lighthearted this was. Oh my goodness, guys, I was giggling a lot during this book. There were quite a few funny moments, and this was also just, while it did have some heavy subject topics, like there are some parts, and I will talk about that later, but it was very lighthearted. It was very just a fun and happy-go-lucky type of graphic novel, and I really enjoyed that. And then my third pro is that this, while being fun and, you know, lighthearted, was also insanely wholesome and sweet, and like the storyline and the plot was just so wonderfully done. It does have a very like impactful and like good message to it, so I really enjoyed this, like the storyline of this. Really enjoyed it. So definitely some pretty good strong pros here. 3 pros on the pro side. Now we're gonna hop over to the con side of things. I don't know why I'm switching it, like, oh, it's bad over on this side, but anyway. There is some disturbingly weird stuff in this. This is called The Cursed Princess Club, and there's just, it's hard to explain it without like telling you exactly what it is, but there is some slightly disturbing, slightly weird stuff. So if like you really don't like anything like that, no, I'm not particularly into a bunch of that stuff, but it wasn't like enough or that weird to like maybe be like, oh, I'm not gonna read this anymore, because the storyline and the plot was still like so good to me. The second thing in this book, and this is one of the things that probably my biggest con for this book, was that there is 2 small partial nudity scenes in this. So it's a graphic novel, so it's a little image, unfortunately. This was on pages 15 and 16, and then page 234 and 237. So if you want to just be aware of that, that is the pages that is on. And then the third con is that there are some gay jokes in this, mostly involving these 3's brother. It's just a thing that's there. It's more like a background or a side whatever thing or something just thrown right in there, and then they get right back to the story. So again, it was annoying, but it didn't completely like take me out of or away from it, because I still was enjoying the story so much. So those are my 3 pros and those are my 3 cons for the books. I will say that I rated this a 4-star. I really enjoyed it. I already ordered the second one so that I can continue on with this. Now I'm going to give you a little summary of what this is actually about. So this is about, there's three sisters, 3 princesses, and the story pretty much follows this one right here, Gwendolyn, and she's basically living proof that princesses don't have it all, because she is like the kindest sweetheart of the world, like seriously, but she's not particularly pretty like her sisters. And so one night she ends up stumbling into the forest and finds this cursed princess club, and now like her life is now changing and different, and she's like finding out all these things. So that's basically the summary of it. I am going to give a little bit of review notes now, so if you don't want to know much else about the story, then you can just be done here. You can skip whatever. Yeah, let's talk about it. I adored this story, guys. Oh my goodness. The message of this is basically that, like, there's more, like, beauty is more than skin deep, and there's like a lot of like accepting yourself and being okay with, you know, who you are, even if you're not, you know, the same as everybody else. It seems like it's going to have a really good message just throughout. Again, I haven't read, I think there's 4 volumes in this, and I haven't read but the first one, so might have some more themes coming in, but in this one, that was kind of like the main theme of the book, and I really enjoyed that. Gwendolyn, the main princess that we follow, who's not particularly pretty, is an absolute doll, like a legit doll. She is like the sweetest thing ever, and I loved her so much, but it's also all the more funny when, oh my goodness, when characters who don't know her see her in like this ugly, scary light or whatnot, because they're like, because of her looks. It's all the more funny when characters see her like that because she's trying to do something kind, and so they see this scary monster and you're like, but it's my doll, it's Gwendolyn. Like, those parts were hilarious to me. I loved that. It was also kind of sad because it was like, but they don't know her. So yeah, some things definitely pulled on my heartstrings in this. Definitely made me go, aw, made me giggle. Like, I had a lot of emotions through this, and I'm so excited to continue on. And oh my goodness, let's talk about Gwendolyn's family for a second. Her family is the sweetest family ever. Like, you start out the story and you're sitting here and you see her, and they present her in such a like way at first too, and it's, her family's just like, she's no different than us. She looks in, you know, like she is our sister. She's exactly the same. Like, they treat her, they talk to her no differently. If anything, the dad especially even fawns on her even more so, you know, than the other sisters, because she's the youngest. And the brother, okay, the brother was probably the character that I had the most problem with. He is the one who has the partial nudity, and the gay jokes are surrounding him and stuff, which was just annoying. I felt like you still could have had the story, and you still could have had the really good qualities of the brother without ever putting that stuff in. So that was annoying to me. But the brother was also a, like, renowned food critic, for crying out loud. Like, he loved food and he was a food critic, and Gwendolyn loves baking and cooking and stuff. So they had like a really special relationship because he could always taste her emotions and stuff like that in her food. And it was really sweet because he knew when something was bothering her and stuff. And so I really loved that aspect. And he was honestly like, seemed like a really, like, he had some really good character qualities, which is why it annoyed me even more that they put some of the other bad qualities on him. But I really enjoyed that because their little brother-sister relationship was like so sweet, and he saw her as like, oh my goodness, there was like a quote, and I can't remember, oh my goodness, I think I know where this is, hold on, okay, this was his quote from her brother Jamie. "I've tried dishes from chefs all over the world, and I've never yet tasted anything as lovely and warm as the food Gwen makes." He's so sweet to her, and they're all so sweet to her. They all love her. They have this genuine kindness all about them, and they all like love each other. And it's so sweet, and it also makes it kind of heartbreaking that Gwendolyn is also like going through this identity crisis of like, am I not like pretty like my sisters and stuff? And so it's really heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. And it really had me invested into these character storylines. It really did. Okay, so we'll get into a little something else. The 3 princesses are basically, their father has decided that he's going to marry them off to these 3 princes from another kingdom to unite the kingdoms and to help each other and stuff. And so the 3 princesses meet the 3 princes, and the youngest prince, who is supposed to be with Gwendolyn, is disappointed because he thought she was like a demon, which is like horrible, 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 horrible. But as the story goes on, we get to see a little bit of character development from this youngest prince. His name is Frederick. And I really liked the character development that they were starting with him, so I'm really excited to see where that goes in the following volumes. Yeah, I really loved how they started to open him up some, how much he was kind of the outcast also of like his family, even though like Gwen is literally not the outcast in her family. Like everybody else sees her that way, but her family doesn't. But his is kind of the opposite. Nobody sees him as the outcast of the family, but his family sees him as the outcast of the family. That's kind of how like I read it. So that was kind of like sad hearing his backstory, but it was also like the author did such a good job and made this so sweet, how she kind of like turned this into like a really cute, sweet bonding moment for the two of them. And I can't wait to see where that goes. I just can't wait. My absolute favorite part of this was when Gwen brought Frederick soup after they went to the carnival or something in town, and he ended up falling in water. And so he was feeling kind of sick, and she brought him soup, and he's ate it all, and he's like, this is like the best thing I've ever tasted, and it's kindness, and nobody but servants have ever made me food, and it was adorable. And then he starts to fall asleep on her, and she's like, and he's just like, and then the father calls off the engagement because he's like, no, Gwen is falling too. And it's like, it's so funny. It's so funny. And like, was one of the most wholesome moments. And then at the very end too, when Gwen sends him a gift and it's her favorite book, that's also his favorite book. And then something got mixed up with a potion that the Cursed Princess Club was doing. And so instead of sending him a little ship, because he liked to make model ships, they sent him nude eyes. And so he's still terrified. And that part was like so mix of cuteness and hilarious weirdness. I really enjoyed this book, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm done talking about it. But I really, really enjoyed this. It is only 4 stars because of the few cons of this book, though. I couldn't bring it up higher. Honestly, if they didn't have those few things in there, even with the weird stuff, I might have rated it 5 stars, honestly, if they just didn't have the partial nudity and the gay jokes in it. But they did have it, so this is only 4 stars, and I do just want you guys to be aware, because I know people have different, you know, it varies for what people are comfortable reading and how much so. So yeah, I hope this review was helpful. And if you do read this, please let me know what you think of it. Let me know if this review convinced you to read it, or if the cons were something that made you be like, oh yeah, that's no longer on my TBR. Just let me know if I was helpful. I hope I was. And I hope if you do read it that you love it as much as I did. And yes, I cannot wait to read the 2nd volume. I'm so excited about it. So thank you to my friend who got this for me for my birthday. I appreciate you getting me into all this weird stuff that you do. So thanks, guys. Bye.